Right, Happy New Year. How's your mum and them? Listen, this never ends. It's Howson versus all of them at all times. First up, Erik ten Hag went out and had dinner on New Year's Eve with his family. Do you remember when that was a problem? Now, as some of the comments have said, remember the outrage when Rashford did this. Now, people don't like the optics of players going out when we've lost. And I get that. And personally, I wouldn't, because I know what going out in town is like. And I imagine, as a United player, after you've lost, you're going to be abused, right? And I'm not saying that I agree with that. I don't agree with that. I'm just saying, why would you put yourself in that sort of situation? You all got absolutely £1 million mansions. Invite everybody round. Invite a chef round. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Now, Erik ten Hag going out for a meal on New Year's Eve, is it because he's the manager? Is he allowed to go out? Do you know what? It's all a load of bollocks, innit? Right? Why is this? Why are people reporting on this? Man eats dinner. Fuck me. You went through college and school and university and worked your bollocks off to get a job to write about a man eating a fucking kebab or whatever the fuck it was that he ate. Honestly, get a motherfucking grip. Speaking of getting a grip, Dean Saunders, generally one of the only voices of reason on TalkSPORT, has questioned Dave Brailsford's credentials.
It needs a complete reshuffle again, but I wouldn't have a cycling expert doing it for me. I'd have an expert in football. Dave Brailsford, who was the guru with the cyclists and the Tour de France and the Olympics. Mm-hmm. His motto is, can I get an extra 1% out of everything? And fair enough in cycling, but when you got to find out who's lying to you in football, like agents and other clubs and players, and everybody lies to you. Mm. So experience makes you listen to the right people. You cannot come into football and think because it worked in cycling, you're going to take over a football club.
Right. For starters, he's literally worked at Nice. Nice, right? Literally got a job at a football club right fucking now. Literally took them to the top of the league, at least for a little bit, in France. Dave Brailsford's not going to be banging the cones out and putting on a pressing session. Dave Brailsford's not going to be, come here, lads, I want you to hit it like this. He's not doing that. What Dave Brailsford is, he is a sports administrator that absolutely rings out the absolute 1% improvements all over the place. He will identify the right people who can teach you how to bend it into the top corner, the right person who can get the very best in strength and conditioning. This is a guy that understands sport. Tour de France, Olympics, working at Nice, amongst all the other shit that they did. They took Team Sky from an idea to this absolute behemoth. You don't think people chat shit to you in cycling? Everyone's piss is bright green in cycling. They're all lying about what drugs they're taking. So do you think people aren't lying to you in cycling? They're all fucking lying. What does that have to do with getting more out of the football club? Yes, agents are going to lie to you, but that's where you use your analysts, and that's where you get the likes of a Paul Mitchell in and go, what do you reckon about this? Some guy's going to sit in front of you and go, this kid is the new Messi. You're an idiot if you just assume every single kid that sits in front of you is the new Messi. He says you can't go into a football club and think because it's worked in cycling, you're going to take over a football club and get inside a footballer's mind. They're not cyclists. Guess who else isn't cyclists? Everyone at Nice.
So in cycling, he's an expert. Mm-hmm. He's not in rugby and he's not in football. So don't give him 300 million, whatever you do.
Well, they're going to.
Give it to an expert in football who knows what they're doing.
This is disingenuous at best, because they're saying that Sir Dave Brailsford is going to be the guy that's doing it all, right? He's not. They're appointing Sir Dave Brailsford to help with the organisation, to be like an auditor, I think, at least anyway. We've not had job descriptions published for every single person that's coming in. Jean-Claude Blanc, he's not going to be getting on the pitch and telling people how to fucking whip a crossing, is he? No, this is a guy that specialises in marketing and how to run a football club. It's the likes of Dan Ashworth, the likes of Paul Mitchell. That's who's going to be doing the football shit. You just can't just say, Dave Brailsford, what's he going to do? Come on, Dino. I like you. Let's not fall out. Looks like we might fall out. Dean Saunders has now given his 11 players to get rid of, and some of these are nonsense. Sure, been there too long. What? I was going to say, it's like saying getting rid of Brian Robson when you come in because he's been there too long. No, Luke Shaw is, by all accounts, a good pro and actually one of the people that you can rely on in this squad. Delo, not good enough. I can get behind that. Varane, he's a good player, but obviously it's not happening for him. I obviously disagree. Evans, not good enough now. Disagree. Evans has been great for United. Can you point to 2 or 3 mistakes Evans has made? Because I can't. Wan-Bissaka. Just says Wan-Bissaka. McTominay. He has shown that he doesn't think he's good enough. Has he? Has Ten Hag shown he doesn't think he's good enough? Because Ten Hag keeps fucking picking him. Rashford been there too long. Marshall, I'd drive him to the airport. Anthony, I'd drive him to the airport. Maguire, get rid of him. Sancho, I'd drive him to the airport. Okay, some of them I don't disagree with. You can't just get rid of 11 fucking players. You're talking about a guy that knows fuck all about fuck all because he's all come from cycling, and you want to get rid of 11 players. How many players do you think United would actually be able to field if that lot got binned off? Okay, so in defence of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I tweeted last week, Ole came second with this rabble, talking about the likes of Bailey, Pogba, Lingard, David De Gea. Bailey's now got a club, but 4 or 5 days ago, Bailey literally didn't have a club. And those 4 players were literally out of work. None of them were employed. And I said, Ole came second with this rubble. Now half of the starting 11 is without a club within 2 years. All young enough to still be playing. And his achievements grow by the day. A lot of people disagree with the line that his achievements grow by the day, but obviously I wrote it and I stand by it. I think his achievements do grow by the day. I think the more people realise the absolute shit show that he was working with, people actually realise, look how many 5-0 or 5-goal margins he won by. Look at the incredible away run. And people's defence of that, or mitigation for that is, well, there was no fans. Just at Old Trafford? No, there were no fans everywhere. He still had to do it. Liverpool still got their fucking league title in June. Why does it matter that there was no fans for that shit? But do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think Solskjaer did a good job, and I think as longer time goes on, and the more you're seeing everybody come in and fail, it's one of those. And then some guy called it a nonsense tweet. He said, Pogba had a team, but he's banned. Lingard had an offer, but rejected it because he's a knob. Bailey had interest from other teams already, and De Gea's better than our current keeper. Nonsense tweet. Well, it's not nonsense, is it? It's literally fucking factual. None of them players have a club, you fucking club biscuit. And can we just shout this one out? So a couple of weeks ago, everyone delighted in the fact that the formerly great local newspaper, now disreputable online blog, amongst others, was banned for reporting a load of old arse. And clearly, fresh off not learning a lesson, old fucking Samuel Luckhurst is at it again. So he posts, following the press conference, Ten Hag confirms Mainoo's removal was tactical, says he has brackets, or quotations, no regrets about the decision. And then an actual fucking journalist, not someone who works for a shit rag, Carl Anker, said, actually did his job, actually reported what actually happened. He said, in today's press conference, Ten Hag explained he removed Mainoo at halftime as the teenager had played twice this week and felt his energy levels were a little low. Said he had no regrets in replacing him with Scott McTominay. Now, let me just go back up to that. The stark difference, not just in the full explanation from a good journalist to a blog writer, but in the angle. One's a very snarky, Ten Hag says he's got no regrets, and it was tactical. That's painting it out like Ten Hag thought there was a better tactic to put Scott McTominay in, and he's arrogantly got no regrets about it. The other one is a completely different angle. The other one is, I had to take him off because he's already played twice this week. I got no regrets in replacing him with Scott McTominay. For whatever reason it was that he's got no regrets in replacing him with Scott McTominay. Those are two entirely different stories. Like Alex Ferguson said, your job is to report the fucking truth. And if you don't report the truth, you'll find yourself fucking banned again. Won't you, Samuel? Anyway, that's me for this week. Cheers for tuning in. Let me know any random utter wibble that you've seen that you'd like me to talk about next week. We'll see you in a bit.